In today's tutorial we're going to be working on these cute as a button flowers. They are so cute. They are as cute as a button. These are inexpensive and you can just use value yarns. You can choose Red Heart Super Saver, you could do Bernat Super Value. Pretty inexpensive. You can attach them to the hats. Really quite an easy, quick little idea to follow. So let's get started on these cute as a button flowers. So let's grab our material. We're using a size K hook today. It's a 6.5 millimeter, and we are just going to start off with the slip knot. So if you know how to do a slip knot, just great. There are other tutorials that are slower to be able to show you that process. Let's begin by chaining 4. This never counts as 1 on the hook that we started with. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. I want to create the center of the ring, so in order to do it, I just slip in the hook to the very starting chain that we started with. Okay, it's like a horseshoe when you kind of pull it down like that. So I'm going to just position the yarn in my hands properly like you see over here, and I'm just going to position my thumb and my finger so I'm pinching it, and I'm going to pull through everything. That's a slip stitch. And so now because I pinched it where I wanted to, it's now going to be showing the circle, okay, at the center of the ring. I want to chain up 3, so 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to go around this ring 11 more times. This actually counts as 1 double crochet, so it actually equals a 12 when we come to do the final of the stitch count for the patterns. So let's wrap the material going into the center of the ring, pulling it through, pull it through, and through. Okay, so that's 1 double crochet. We need to do that 10 more times now. So I'm going to count it out. So this is going to be number 2, number 3, we got 4, we got 5, we got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so I just want to recount now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. The reason why I got 12 is that the first one, as I said, counts as 1. So now let's do a slip stitch. So let's go into the very top of the chain that you started with, grabbing the material, pulling it through and through. Very simple process that we're now going to do is that we're going to just chain up 2, so 1 and 2, and we're now creating the petals. So see this stitch over here? You don't want to come down here. We want to actually come right above the top, just like that, and we're going to do 4 double crochets right into that same stitch. Okay, so that was 1, going into the same stitch again for 2, same for 3, same for 4, and now I want you to chain 2, so 1 and 2, and now in the next one in the ring down is where you're going to single crochet. So single, and now chain 2 again, so 1 and 2. So this is actually creating the shape of the petals. We're going to come into the next stitch on the ring, and we're going to do 4 more double crochets. Okay, and when we're done that, we're going to do chain 2, 1 and 2, and we're going to come down to the next one like we just did before. We're going to single crochet, chain 2 again, 1 and 2, and just keep doing that. And let's meet back up. Now you notice that you had 12 all the way around. That means that you'll end up with 6 petals at the end of this. So let's go to the next one and put in our 4 double crochets and keep on going, and we'll meet back up at the end of this rotation where we're going to do a color change as well as just make sure that your work was done right. We'll see you in a second. I'm coming now up to the last petal, and I'm just did my chain 2. I'm coming down to do my single crochet. I want to make sure you do finish this off properly. So let's chain up 2 again, so 1 and 2, and we're going to come into the last. Okay, it's the second last one because the first one is right here. And we're doing our 4 double crochets. I don't actually think crochet is actually pronounced crochets. I think it should just be like sheep. It's more than one sheep, it's still sheep. So chain 2, 1 and 2, and we just want to slip stitch down where the other one is originating out of. Okay, so slip it, like that, and we're going to change colors at this point. So grab your fancy dancy scissors, and I just want to pull up this, okay, and I just want to just fasten this off doing a weaving technique. You're really not going to it's not going to matter too much in this particular round because the next rotation around is going to actually cover this. So I just tied it, and I'm just going to trim it a little nicer so it's a little bit smaller, so when I go to operate the next level that we're going to do it. So if you wanted to use this as an applique without going around again, see, this pattern is very versatile, so you can just stop here, or you can make it extra special by actually putting another rotation around it in order to make it even more cooler. So let's do that rotation next. Okay, grab my next yarn, and I'm just going to create a slip knot like we did already before. Slip in the hook. Now, I don't want just starting at the bottom. When you look at the other one here, you'll see how you have pieces coming down like that. You don't want to start off at the bottom here. You want to start off to the one that's over here. So we're going to start there, then come down and keep going that. So when the last stitch is here, we'll be actually wrapping around this in the end. Okay, so it doesn't matter where you started in this project as far as like what petal. I would just recommend just pull it apart like this, okay, and just slip in your hook into the gap that is beside the 4 double crochets. Okay, so wrapping the material around that gap, okay, using that straggler as well, kind of pull that through as well at the same time. So therefore you'll know it's extra strong in there. And I want you to single crochet around each one of the outside petals. Okay, you see how I'm using that straggler and I'm kind of trapping it into position as I go? I don't want to see that straggler falling out, so I just kind of trapped it as it went. Okay, and so if we started in the gap over here, that means that the last stitch before you come down into the bottom section here is going to be right into the gap on the other side of that. Okay, so now let's come down, and we're going to grab the 2 stitches that are right on the bottom. So just follow it down, you'll see 2. Okay, so we're just going to stick our hook into behind the posts. So you got 1 and 2. Grab the material, and I want you to yank it back up. Get some slack on it. Okay, do you see how there's slack right up here? That's what you want as well. So just single crochet it like that, and now back onto the next petal into the gap, single crochet, and now we're back into the regular on top of the 4 double crochet that's around the edge. So the whole point of coming back down to do that slacking part is to give the flower a little bit of lift so it wants to come forward instead of sitting so flat. So we're now in the gap here and we want to come down. So obviously if you grab these 2 posts, the next 2 posts that are available are going to be the ones that you're going to go behind. So just slip in and out, just snap it out and just pulling it through. Pull the slack so you get some pull, and just single crochet that bad boy into position. Now if you do not pull that slack, it is gonna actually fold right in on you, so you need to pull that slack in order to get that stitch to go back all the way to the top there. Okay, so you just have to continue to repeat that all the way around what I'm just doing here, and we'll meet back up and we'll cast off and we'll consider this flower complete. So we're now at the very last petal here, and what I need to do is I've just done in the gap, and so now I'm going to come down and snap it behind the 2 posts that are in the first rotation there, giving it some slack and pulling up. And so I can't just stop here because you end up with a gap here without any color, and so you just want to slip stitch it only to the very beginning of where you did that color fastening and slip it. Okay, therefore the color will go all the way around at this point. So let's trim the material over my hand like I always do, pulling out material just like that, and I just want to tie it into position. Okay, you can just slip it into a stitch just like that, grabbing it through, and then just grab it again and just pull, and that will tighten onto itself. And then I just wrap it around a couple more stitches loosely, and that should be the end of that. Okay, so now we just want to go in and just trim off all the extra pieces that were kind of hanging out of it at this point. Just snip. Okay, and we can just safely snip this one as well. just like that. We can just do final adjustments, and voila, you now have a finished flower. Until next time, I'm your host, Mikey.